Chapter 011. You are listening at Novelful.audio. Night, Yi Feng, what are you even talking about? Kushina asked, clearly anxious. Both Mito Uzumaki and the third Hokage frowned, clearly displeased. Orochimaru cursed under his breath, totally bummed. He'd been counting on Yi Feng accepting the Chunin title. Even if he didn't infiltrate the Cloud Village, a simple B-rank mission would have given Orochimaru an opening to make things interesting. But no, Yi Feng straight up rejected the promotion. Genin could only accept D-rank and C-rank missions. With a D-rank, Orochimaru's cover would be blown the same day if he tried anything. Even with a C-rank, he'd need at least 3 months of planning, assuming he kept his identity hidden. Orochimaru eyed Yi Feng suspiciously. Was this some next-level genius move? Had he seen this coming, or was it just dumb luck? Mito Uzumaki, frustrated, snapped, Yi Feng, what nonsense are you spouting? You gonna be a genin your whole life? Yi Feng shot back, hey, old lady, being a genin's just fine by me. What's wrong with being a genin? You want to stay a low-level ninja forever? Why is genin low-level? I think genin are the backbone of the leaf. They're the vast majority, and they're Konoha's real strength. They're the reason Konoha is what it is today. Without the countless sacrifices of genin in the first and second ninja wars, there wouldn't be a thriving Konoha now. The first and second Hokage were great, sure, but so were the countless genin under their command. As a genin, I'm proud. I have no desire to be promoted. Sarutobi, who'd been ready to blow his top, did a complete 180. Yi Feng's words hit him hard. Sarutobi did some soul-searching, wondering if being Hokage had made him lose touch with the regular genin, overlooking their importance. Mito Uzumaki was lost in thought, too. Kushina watched, dumbfounded. What was Yi Feng even trying to say? Being a genin was a good thing. The way he put it, it almost sounded honorable. Yi Feng didn't care about honor. That 10x speed boost to his Hashirama Senju card fusion was where it was at. 2 boosts in a row, and now it was 20x. 1 hour now was like 20 hours yesterday. Sarutobi suddenly wondered if Yi Feng was playing him. Promotion to Chunin had nothing to do with respecting genin, this guy just didn't want the responsibility. Sarutobi gave Yi Feng a hard look. Alright, Yi Feng, I see your point. Being a genin is a fine goal. So you're really not planning on becoming a Chunin? Yi Feng shook his head. Thanks for the offer, third Hokage, but I just want to be a regular, ordinary genin. Sarutobi's lip twitched. You awakened a bloodline limit, and still want to be ordinary. You gotta be kidding me, Mito Uzumaki whispered to Sarutobi. Sarutobi, I'll talk to him again when we get back. He's still young and doesn't know what he wants. Sarutobi sighed, worn out. Yeah, okay, whatever. It was the first time anyone had ever turned him down like this. Sarutobi didn't have the energy. He turned and left. The Hokage was busy. He didn't have time for games. Things were heating up with the Cloud Village. The Raikage and the Eight Tails Jinchuriki were making noise. Orochimaru's intel said the Cloud Village had captured the Two Tails a few years back. This time, they'd gone after Kushina to find a host for the Two Tails. Kushina was the obvious choice. The Raikage and Eight Tails Jinchuriki had crossed the border themselves to rescue a spy. Orochimaru paid the price of serious injuries saving Tsukumo Hatake and Minato Namikaze and captured an undercover agent. But Sarutobi knew Cloud Village wouldn't stop there. They definitely had something else planned. Konoha needed to prevent another Kushina kidnapping. They needed to figure out martial law and security, and not just Cloud Village. Intelligence said the Rock Village was also recruiting troops, preparing for something. The precious peace of the past 10 years was about to end in another war. Sarutobi sighed at the thought. As Sarutobi left, Orochimaru gave Yi Feng a long, hard look before turning and going. Mito Uzumaki sighed. You packed your things, kid? Yi Feng nodded. Not that there was much to pack, just some clothes, and so, Yi Feng followed Mito Uzumaki home. It was the small courtyard he remembered, full of lush greenery, singing birds, and blooming flowers. He could vaguely see people moving around inside. having such a large place in the center of the village showed the Uzumaki clan's status in Konoha. Mito Uzumaki smiled. Welcome back, Yi Feng. We Uzumakis ignored you before. Yi Feng waved it off. It's okay, old lady. I liked the quiet back then. But now, this place seems good, too. Glad you like it. Yi Feng, your house is over there. Kushina, take him to put his stuff away and get settled. Yes, Grandma Mito. Kushina blushed. Living under the same roof as Yi Feng, so nerve-wracking, Yi Feng followed Kushina to his house. It looked great. Wanna come in? Kushina, beet red, stammered, no, my room is right next door, and with that, she ran off, utterly flustered. Yi Feng blinked. Was Kushina coming on to him? Root headquarters, in a dark, damp office, Danzo reviewed Yi Feng's file, surprised, a war orphan picked up while retrieving Uzumaki Kushina. What a coincidence that he's from the Senju clan. Another coincidence. He awakened his bloodline limit when facing a life-or-death crisis. Too many coincidences. The information from his root members should be accurate, but still, it was too much. Danzo couldn't believe it. Was this the Senju clan and Uzumaki clan last struggle? Yi Feng rejected the third. Yes, Danzo-sama. He turned down the Chunin promotion. The masked shinobi kneeling before him reported, he said that being a genin is great, we shouldn't look down on them, that genin are the pillars of Konoha, Konoha's strongest force. He said he wanted to walk the path of a genin and harness the power of a genin. Danzo scoffed. Nonsense. What are genin? Elite jonin and kage-level powerhouses are what make a ninja village strong. He doesn't want to see me. Bring him here. Point one way or another, this last orphan of the Senju clan was a loose end and his active cells, so useful to himself, had to be under his control. If he refused to cooperate, he would be eliminated. The masked shinobi said immediately, leave it to me, Danzo-sama. I won't fail you. Danzo considered it. Be quick and ruthless. You alone won't be enough. Bring all 10 root members. Yes, Danzo-sama. Also, don't do it at the Uzumaki compound. Wait for him to leave. Chapter 012. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 10 root members, the organization's strongest elite, were organized by Yugen into 3 elite shinobi, including Oil Girl Ryoma and Yamanaka Kaze, to take on a mission. Legend had it that these 10, working together, could wipe out a small village overnight. If the root organization was Konoha's darkness, then these 10 were its most ruthless enforcers. Under Danzo's orders, the 10 root members had already begun their operation, each taking their designated position. The whirlpool courtyard was surrounded by root informants. At the gate, a kid whittled at ants with a twig, which, upon closer inspection, had tiny sprouts at its tip. Inside the courtyard, Yefeng lay on his bed, checking his stats. Name, Yi Feng. Strength, Standard Jonin. Rank, Shinobi. Character card, SSS rank Hashirama Senju, fusion rate, 5.79%. Kekkei Genkai, God level. Would release, granted by character card. Ninjutsu, Flying Thunder God Technique LV3, Impure World Reincarnation LV3, Lightning Blade LV1. That Hashirama Senju character card is insane. Just 5% fusion and I'm already at the elite Jonin level. Considering Hashirama was practically a god among ninja, on par with Madara Uchiha, it made sense. At his peak, Madara could take on all 5 Kage at once. So, 20% of his power was greater than a Kage-level powerhouse. Therefore, 5% of Hashirama's strength being comparable to a regular Jonin wasn't too far-fetched. Besides, Yefeng had also inherited all of Hashirama's ninjutsu and combat experience. The system rated Yefeng as a standard Jonin based on his current chakra reserves and skills. But Yefeng suspected he could take on even an elite Jonin. Originally, it would have taken a year to go from 5% to 100% fusion. Now, it's 20 times faster, so about 18 days. Not bad at all. Just then, a knock came at the door. Yefeng. It was Kushina. The door opened, revealing Kushina in a blue dress, her red hair vibrant, and her skin exceptionally fair. You okay? It's still early. Wanna go check on Minato? He got hurt the other night. Oh yeah, how bad is it? Am I gonna have to pay up? Kushina blinked, then giggled. It wasn't you who hit him. Well, it was after you roughed him up. I heard the Hokage was coming, wanting to rescue Yunin spies, and capture them from Minato at the same time. Really? Yeah, luckily Lord Orochimaru showed up just in time and saved them from Minato. I heard Lord Orochimaru was injured too, but he seemed fine this morning. Listening to Kushina, Feng realized Orochimaru had been hurt last night. No wonder he seemed weaker, so, Orochimaru still had some fight left in him, but by the time Orochimaru recovered, Feng would be nearly fully fused. Even in a week, he could fuse over 30%, making dealing with Orochimaru a cakewalk. Feng, let's go see Minato and Tsukumo. They did save me after all. Ding. Please choose. Option 1, eagerly visit Minato in the hospital and strengthen your bond with him. Reward, C-rank ninjutsu, gentle do senbon. Option 2, refuse and blow off Kushina. Reward, Kushina's affection -10, B-rank summoning jutsu, earth release, tracking Feng technique. Option 3, go another day. Today, Feng just wants to chill at home. Reward, 10x character card fusion speed for Hashirama Senju, B-rank taijutsu, ephemeral, chain of blossoms. Looks like the system wants me to stay a couch potato. Feng glanced at Kushina and plopped back onto the bed. I'm a little sleepy today. Let's go another time. Minato won't be getting out of the hospital that soon. Kushina put her hands on her hips, looking annoyed. Feng, why are you so lazy? Oops, I'm sleepy. Kushina stamped her foot in frustration and stormed out. Uzumaki Mito overheard Kushina saying Feng was asleep again, and sighed. She had never seen someone so bone idle. Then, Uzumaki Mito wondered aloud, Kushina, do you think Feng might be feeling unwell after awakening his Kekkei Genkai? Kushina, who was already upset, grew worried about Feng. Grandma Mito, what should we do? Uzumaki Mito pondered. I'll have Shizen take a look. She just got back, anyway. Tsunade wasn't in Konoha. Shizen was her top student and Mito's most trusted confidant. Back in the room, Feng lay in bed, figuring he could upgrade his skills while he slept. The life of a couch potato was both dull and relaxing. Suddenly, another knock. Who is it? Opening the door, he saw the old lady, Kushina, and a little girl. This is Feng, you seemed uncomfortable, so I brought someone to check on you. This is Tsunadeheim's disciple, Shizen. Shizen? Tsunade's student? This little kid? She's adorable. Feng had a vague recollection. Shizen nodded, looking at Feng curiously. She was getting ready to leave Konoha Village again. She came back every few months to gather the latest news and get some money for her master. This time, she learned about the Yunin kidnapping Kushina, and the Hokage and Hachibi sneaking into the land of fire. Naturally, she'd heard about Feng. When Shizen heard that Feng might be injured or unwell, she came immediately. The first thing she said upon seeing him was, Feng-kun, take off your shirt and let me take a look. Chapter 013. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Feng hadn't realized that just chilling out could lead to so many misunderstandings, but seeing how much Uzumaki Mito cared, even asking Shizen to check him out, Feng felt a surge of warmth. The old lady really treated him like a grandson. Let's take a look. Shizen stepped up to Feng and reached out to touch his hands. Whoa. Feng instinctively backed away a few steps. Hey, hold still. You're supposed to be hurt. Let me examine you. Shizen grabbed Feng, who just closed his eyes. Alright, if you really want to examine me, have at it. Pfft. Shizen glared at him, her expression odd. The kid acted like she was trying to jump him. Kushina covered her mouth, giggling. Serves you right. Shizen pinched Feng's waist. Even for a ninja, that spot was sensitive. It was a trick she'd learned dealing with creepy patients back in the day, but the moment she pinched, Shizun gasped, rock hard. Ahem, what a solid build. Shizun was momentarily flustered, but quickly regained her composure to continue her examination. Perfectly healthy, no injuries at all, an incredible chakra. As a medical ninja, Shizun had a detailed understanding of anatomy. She was shocked as she examined Yifeng. For someone so young, his chakra was on par with a jonin. After a thorough checkup, Shizun turned to Uzumaki Mito. Mito-sama, he's perfectly fine. Doesn't seem injured at all. Maybe I missed something. Maybe we could have Tsunade take a look when she gets the chance. Yifeng, overhearing, felt his eyelids twitch. No way, he wasn't about to be stripped down by Tsunade. Uzumaki Mito perked up. Is Tsunadeheim coming back? But she hadn't seen Tsunade in years, partly to protect her, and partly because Tsunade herself didn't want to return to the sad memories of Konoha. I don't know. Or maybe Yifeng could visit her. Uzumaki Mito immediately shook her head. Not right now. Things have been tense lately. Kushina was just targeted. We can't be careless with Yifeng, the last of the Senju clan. Shizun understood and nodded. Alright, Mito-sama. I'll head back and let the Hokage know the news. Okay, be careful out there. Outside the Uzumaki compound, the kid who'd spent the day playing with ants had been watching. They hadn't seen Yifeng leave, but soon, they saw Kushina emerge. The kid grabbed a twig, coaxing shoots to grow, spelling out a quick message, Kushina out. Then, they tossed the twig into the alley. A little later, Kushina returned with Shizun. Another twig hit the alley, Kushina plus Shizun back. Soon after, Shizun left on her own. Another twig, back at Root HQ, Danzo received the child's reports. Yifeng hasn't left. Isn't Kushina taking him to meet Minato and Tsukumo? Shizun arrived. Could Yifeng be injured? Did you hurt Yifeng last night? Besides Danzo, Orochimaru was also in the office. Orochimaru shrugged and licked his lips. Nah. The Hokage and his old man showed up. What's up? Well, Shizun entered the compound. Yifeng might be hurt. Maybe he got banged up saving Kushina. Orochimaru conceded. Possibly. So, about my lab. Where are you setting it up? Here. Danzo had promised Orochimaru a new lab upon his return to Konoha, clearly hoping to benefit from the Sanin's expertise. Orochimaru shrugged. Fine by me. I heard there was another survivor from that experiment 5 years ago, Yamato, right? Danzo nodded, picking up 2 twigs. Check out the messages. This kid can use wood release. Orochimaru's eyes gleamed. Excellent. I'll start experimenting on him first. When you catch Yifeng, send him. Danzo stared at Orochimaru. Yamato or Yifeng, send them to my side. No messing around. Your previous experiments were shut down because you got too reckless. Orochimaru's eyes flashed again, and he grinned. I just want a little of their blood. Nothing fatal. With that, Orochimaru turned and left. Bunch of idiots, so easy to manipulate. Another 2 days passed. The root operative keeping watch on the Uzumaki compound had been replaced. Yamato had been transferred, and the hidden observers were still waiting for Yifeng to show. But 2 days later, there was still no sign of him. Is this guy planning to stay inside for a whole month? This is taking forever. Even Danzo, back at Root HQ, was getting impatient. One more day. If Yifeng doesn't appear by 3 a.m. tomorrow, pull the plug. Danzo couldn't figure out why Yifeng was such a homebody. But he knew that keeping so many root agents tied up was crippling the organization's other operations. Yifeng, that kid is too damn clever. Inside his room, Yifeng checked his character fusion, which had reached 20%. He opened his stats panel. Name, Yifeng. Strength, Elite Jonin. Rank, Jonin. Character card, SSS rank Hashirama Senju. Fusion rate 20.09%. Kekkei Genkai, God tier would release, comes with character card, ninjutsu, flying Raijin Jutsu LV3, impure world reincarnation. LV3, Chidori LV3, outer path, samsara of heavenly life technique LV3, 0.30 times the speed was really no joke, and even while chilling, his ninjutsu was improving. The 4 ninjutsu had reached LV3, a solid base, with a 20% fusion rate. He was pretty sure Orochimaru couldn't seriously hurt him, having a little self-defense capability. Feng decided his short career as a shut-in was over, time to get back out there. Chapter 014. You are listening at novelfull.audio. If he kept slacking off like this, Kushina would be furious. Minato had been in the hospital for days and hadn't visited her. Were they even still friends? Just as Feng was about to call Kushina to check on Minato, he heard that Minato had already been discharged. Feng suddenly felt like their friendship was on the rocks, and it was all thanks to him playing hooky. But then, Minato surprised him by knocking on his door. Feng was stunned to see Minato, all bruised and bandaged, coming to talk to him. Feng, that. What is it? Not only Feng, but Kushina was also confused. Minato scratched his head. I did a lot of thinking in the hospital, and I had some epiphanies. I was wondering if you'd be up for another fight. Of course, if I get hurt again, it's on me. I'm asking for it. Minato glanced at Kushina, gritted his teeth, and added, Kushina can vouch for what I'm saying. Once wasn't enough. How many beatings did he want? Feng suddenly thought Minato might be a masochist. Finally, Feng reluctantly agreed to Minato's weird request. Kushina watched them with a strange expression. Boys are so weird. All they do is fight. Feng shot a look at Kushina. You used to solve everything with your fists too. Whatever. Obviously, they couldn't fight in the Uzumaki residence, so, Feng chose training ground number 5 in Konoha. Why training ground number 5? Because, recently, the moment Feng, Kushina, and Minato stepped out of the Uzumaki residence, the 10 root members knew. Operation Capture Feng, begin. Conceal your identities as much as possible. Seize the opportunity, strike hard and fast. Don't worry about hurting Kushina Uzumaki or Minato Namikaze if necessary. Go. From every direction, shadowy figures emerged, waiting for the perfect chance to strike. Feng was instantly on high alert. Even Minato looked around, sensing that something was off. Only Kushina, that ditz, was completely clueless. Feng frowned and pulled Kushina into an alley. Feng. Don't go in there. Minato, seeing Feng drag Kushina into the corner, bit his lip and followed. He sensed something was wrong, and he couldn't just ignore Feng and Kushina. Suddenly, a man in a black mask dropped from the sky. He rasped, Minato Namikaze, you're fighting me. Minato frowned. Who are you? Who are we? We're undercover agents from the Hidden Cloud Village, obviously. Minato said coldly, you're not from the Hidden Cloud Village. No one would admit that if they were really a spy. Before he finished speaking, Minato blurred into motion, appearing instantly in front of the masked man, a swirling Rasengan glowing in his hand. Feng pulled Kushina close, glancing up at the figures appearing around them. They all wore grotesque masks, and based on their chakra, they were all Chunin level or higher, even a few Jonin. Seriously? A kidnapping in broad daylight, in the village. Feng couldn't believe anyone would be so brazen. Didn't they have any respect for the third Hokage and Mito Uzumaki? Don't bother guessing. It's Root. Everyone froze for a moment. He'd guessed their identities. No matter, as long as there was no proof, it didn't matter. Yamanaka Kaze, the leader, narrowed his eyes. Attack. At his command, everyone charged forward. Yamanaka Kaze immediately used his clan's secret technique, mind transfer jutsu, focusing his spirit into a single point. He launched it at his target, hoping to seize control of their body with his strong spiritual power. At the same time, from 2 other directions, 2 figures unleashed swarms of poisonous insects. Parasitic destruction bugs. In front of Feng and Kushina, a masked man's eyes suddenly glowed red. the 3 tomo of the Sharingan spinning within. Kushina gasped, the Sharingan. There were Uchiha in the root organization. Maybe that wasn't so surprising. Yefeng was also surprised. Genjutsu, Sharingan, Temple of Nirvana technique. Leaves began to flutter in the air, and Kushina's mind began to cloud. Suddenly, Kushina heard Yefeng call her name, and she turned around happily. Yefeng. But she saw Yefeng, riddled with shuriken and kunai, bleeding and collapsing against a tree. Terrified, Kushina screamed and fainted. At the same time, others lunged at Yefeng and Kushina. The 10 root members attacked with overwhelming force, determined to capture Yefeng. Chapter 015. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In the courtyard, Mito Uzumaki shot to her feet. This is bad. Yefeng's gone out. Suicidal, or worse, someone's deliberately trying to take down the Senju clan. Golden-tailed beast chakra blazed around Mito, her eyes turned into fox-like slits, and Uzumaki clan sealing runes blazed across her skin. Bang! Mito leaped, and was out of there. Simultaneously, in the Hokage's office, Hiruzen Sarutobi jumped up. Orochimaru walked in. Lord Hokage. Hold that thought, Orochimaru. Whatever it is, it'll have to wait. But Lord Hokage, it's crucial. Out. Sarutobi shot Orochimaru a cold look, and vanished. Danzo. Should have seen this coming. Sarutobi sped towards Yefeng, a grimace on his face. He couldn't believe Danzo would be this reckless. Targeting Yefeng right in the village. Think you can get away with this without proof? Think again. Sarutobi could already sense the 9 tails chakra. The old lady was losing it. Danzo, what are you trying to pull? Taking a shot at the last of the Senju bloodline? Keep this up, Danzo, and there's no coming back from this. In the alley, 10 root ninja ambushed Yefeng. Poisonous insects, spirit attacks, Sharingan, and a hail of poison kunai and shuriken came flying. Just as the onslaught hit, Yefeng exploded with shadow clones. Wood style, shadow clone technique. A mind transfer technique, aimed right at Yefeng, was useless against the splitting effect of the shadow clone technique. The insects, kunai, and shuriken slammed into Yefeng's suddenly appearing clones. The clones took the hit for Yefeng. Bang! 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 The clones turned back into wood. Yamanaka Fu, masked, was stunned. This Yefeng was tougher than he thought, using a shadow clone to break the ambush. The Aburame clan members continued to unleash insects. Each wore special goggles. Parasitic bugs swarmed out, heading for Yefeng. Even the other root members kept their distance, afraid of the swarm. This is giving me a serious case of trypophobia, and Kushina's out cold. Yefeng grumbled and threw some hand seals. Wood style, birth of a great tree. Yefeng channeled chakra into the ground. Giant trees erupted from the earth, tearing apart the surrounding buildings. Bang! 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 The force made ninja leap out of their homes. What was going on? Suddenly, there was a small forest of green trees. Minato Namikaze was dueling a masked ninja when a huge branch appeared under the ninja's feet, and sent him flying. Ugh! The masked ninja clutched his rear end, an angry bird soaring through the air before crashing hard. Minato grimaced. It reminded him of Kakashi Hitaki's signature move, 1,000 years of death. Brutal. The mask shattered, and the pants shredded. Bad. Minato recognized the face underneath. Shigaraki Senpai. It was Shigaraki Tanuki from the root organization. Shigaraki Tanuki coughed up blood, looked down, blanched, and ran. Minato didn't stop him, staring into the forest. Yefeng, how had he gotten so strong? He had actually used the birth of a great tree. What was the root organization up to? Behind Minato, there was a deafening boom. Mito Uzumaki, cloaked in golden chakra, landed, cracking the concrete. Minato. Granny, Yefeng's in there. Mito Uzumaki stared, lost in thought, recalling Hashirama Senju. You keep watch out here. I'm going in. Then, a massive adamantine staff slammed down, followed by a wiry figure, crashing nearby. Lord Third. Sarutobi nodded at Minato but was cut off by Mito. Hiruzen, what's the meaning of this? Letting thugs run wild in the village, Sarutobi sighed. Granny, sheet the 9 tails, let the kids sort this out. Give them another chance, alright, Sarutobi had never called himself a student in front of Mito. Today, he felt guilty for the 2 teachers. He was furious. The birth of a great tree appeared in the center of the village, drawing everyone's attention. The Uchiha clan, led by Fugaku Uchiha, Fugaku saw the rising chaos from afar. What's happening over there? Move out, Fugaku ordered, and charged with his clan. Hyuga clan territory. Hinata Hayashi and Hinata Hizashi noticed the flowing chakra. What's going on? Check it out. It wasn't just the Uchiha and Hyuga clans, the Inazuka, Aburame, and Akimichi clans had all turned their eyes. Chapter 016. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Whoosh! 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 The tree world's roots surged, instantly crushing the surrounding space. Crack! Crack! Nearby houses crumbled, explosions echoed, leaving only rubble and dust. The audience gasped. The root members' eyes widened. One figure flashed through their minds, the first Hokage. The one who single-handedly reshaped the Valley of the End. One root member, his Sharingan eye visible through his mask, the 3 tomo spinning, clearly saw the concentrated chakra radiating from Yi Feng's body. It was almost tangible. They couldn't withstand that level of chakra. The surrounding tree roots writhed, exuding terrifying pressure, making everyone tremble. Yi Feng felt the chakra surging within him, a far cry from just days before. Yi Feng remained still, causing the root members to break out in cold sweats, not just those inside the tree world, but even the Hokage outside. Uzumaki Mito, Minato, and others, felt the oppressive force. Sarutobi exclaimed, "That's Yi Feng's chakra." Uzumaki Mito was equally stunned. Lately, Yi Feng had been slacking off, mostly sleeping, and she was starting to lose hope. But now, she understood, Yi Feng was a true genius. Geniuses have their own way, like that old man who was never serious. Sighing, Uzumaki Mito said, "He's definitely a senju." Then, she turned to Minato and asked, "Is Kushina in there too?" Minato nodded quickly. Yes, Yi Feng brought Kushina in. The old lady's eyes lit up. Yi Feng and Kushina, alone together. Perfect opportunity for them to get closer. So, she stopped the 3rd Hokage, saying, "Sarutobi, hold on. If Yi Feng used the tree world descent, they should be safe." Sarutobi just stared at her, speechless. Wasn't she just freaking out? Now she's telling him to wait. Meanwhile, Yamanaka Fu felt a growing unease. Their intel on this kid was way off. He wasn't just a regular jonin. Go! Yamanaka Fu roared, and the ground beneath him cracked as he lunged at Yi Feng. At the same time, the others moved. The masked shinobi with the Sharingan eye began to bleed from the corners of his eyes. Genjutsu, Tree Binding Death, Genjutsu. Tree Binding Death is an illusion that uses the Sharingan to trap enemies, locking them in their own minds and paralyzing them. But this level of illusion had no effect on Yi Feng. It's useless. It wasn't just Uchiha Kageme's chakra-eye illusion. Yamanaka's mind control was ineffective, and the Aburame clan's parasites couldn't even get close. Countless tree roots and vines, thick and interwoven, lashed out at the root members. Crap! These roots and vines whipped around, growing thicker and stronger, pulsating with life. In this vibrant, terrifying environment, everyone felt a surge of fear and cold sweat. Bang! 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 The 10 root members leaped between the roots and vines, dodging and weaving. They were forced to cut down roots and vines they couldn't avoid, resorting to clones and shadow clones, but countless roots and vines surged from the ground, shrinking their space, until they were completely surrounded. They couldn't keep up with shadow clones, they were just ordinary ninjas, without any special bloodline. Fall back! Yamanaka Fu realized their mistake and shouted the order to retreat. Yi Feng's strength far exceeded their expectations, they had overestimated his abilities. but Yi Feng was even stronger than they could have imagined. Hearing Yamanaka Fu's order, the root members turned and fled, but the roots were too fast, shooting out like arrows. Whoosh! 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 Arg! Ugh! In seconds, the 10 root members were wrapped up like mummies. Giant roots blocked Yamanaka Fu's retreat from all sides. He was instantly trapped. Bang! Substitution Jutsu. 20 meters away, Yamanaka Fu reappeared, breathing heavily, then turned around, his eyes widening in shock. When had Yi Feng gotten there? And all his companions were tied up. They were surrounded by Yi Feng. And by his clones. Yi Feng had defeated 10 of them, alone. Yi Feng narrowed his eyes at the masked Yamanaka Fu in front of him. You're the leader. Chapter 017. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Yi Feng gently pressed down, and instantly, countless roots and vines wrapped around the wind was completely trapped. Quickly, the tree realm withered before their eyes, leaving only the 10 bound figures in front of him. In Yi Feng's arms, Kushina's long eyelashes fluttered. She was waking from a nightmare. Looking up, she saw Yi Feng right there. Yi Feng, are you okay? Kushina reached out, touching him, her eyes red. She hugged him tightly. In the Naruto technique, she had seen Yi Feng bleeding and falling to the ground. It had been terrifying. Images flashed in her mind, meeting him for the first time, dirty and disheveled, on the road from Whirlpool Village to Konoha, entering the academy together, graduating together, and then him saving her. It was all so vivid. Now, Kushina realized how much she cared for Yi Feng. Yi Feng touched her soft, red hair and said softly, "Silly girl." Kushina nodded against his chest. "I'm so stupid. I actually fell for an illusion. Ahem." An awkward cough came from behind Yi Feng. Kushina looked up and quickly pushed him away. It was the elder Mito Uzumaki, and Lord 3rd Hokage, along with Minato, were approaching. Kushina subconsciously ignored Minato. Mito Uzumaki glared at the 3rd Hokage, clearly displeased. The young man was finally having a romantic moment. What did the old man want? The 3rd Hokage felt helpless. If they hadn't made a sound, all 10 root members would have suffocated. Just by looking, he recognized them. Were they crazy? Fugaku Uchiha and other members of the Uchiha clan arrived. Sarutobi looked back at Fugaku. "Fugaku, you're here at the right time. Set up a perimeter to keep onlookers away." Fugaku glanced at Yi Feng and showed surprise. It really was Yi Feng. Had he created that terrifying tree realm? After the Thousand Hands clan awakens that power, it's so strong. Fugaku quickly composed himself and said, "Lord Hokage, what about these people? Just keep the area clear. I'll handle everything else." "Yes, Lord Hokage." Fugaku immediately directed his clansmen to set up a cordon. The Hyuga and Yamanaka clans were stopped outside. Sarutobi looked at Yi Feng. "Yi Feng, release them." "Lord 3rd, do you know them?" Sarutobi sighed. Just as he was about to speak, footsteps approached from behind. Everyone looked back. Danzo, along with the Hokage's top advisors, Hamura Mitokado and Koharu Udatane, hurried over. "These are my men, Yi Feng. Let them go." Danzo glanced at the 10 root members, surprised. Was Yi Feng already this strong? He had made a mistake. Danzo regained his composure. Yi Feng didn't speak. Kushina's eyes widened as she stared at Danzo. What was Konoha's leadership doing? Why attack Yi Feng? "Danzo, you." Sarutobi was searching for the right words when a golden chakra flame suddenly erupted around Mito. A claw of nine-tailed chakra grabbed Danzo's neck and lifted him into the air. "Shimura Danzo, were your men the ones who attacked Yi Feng? What exactly are you up to?" Mito Uzumaki's shoulders shook with rage. The deaths of the Vortex clan members in battle had been accidents. The decline of the Thousand Hands clan was also an accident. Even the death of Nawaki had been an accident. But now, Yi Feng had been openly attacked in Konoha. It could no longer be dismissed as an accident. The old woman had lost her temper. This was the last pure blood of the Thousand Hands clan. Did Konoha's leadership truly want the Senju clan to be exterminated? Shimura Danzo, you were the second Hokage's elite guard. How could you do such a thing? What the hell are you planning? Danzo realized he had made a terrible miscalculation. His eyes bulged, he clawed at his neck, and his feet kicked in the air. I have been following the teachings of the first and second Hokage. Everything I do is for Konoha. I am completely selfless. Yi Feng's actions that night were suspicious. I only wanted to bring him in for questioning. I didn't intend to harm him. It was an accident. An accident. Danzo gasped for breath, caught by the nine-tailed chakra. He couldn't use any ninjutsu, besides, Danzo had been coddled for so many years. He lacked the ruthlessness he had possessed in his youth, most importantly, he hadn't expected the elder Mito, who hadn't fought in nearly 20 years, to be so strong. Was this the power of the Nine Tails? The elder's sudden action upset Homura and Koharu's carefully laid plans. If Yi Feng had retaliated, they could have pinned the blame on him, but with the elder taking action, they were powerless. The elder's status in Konoha was unassailable. Seeing Danzo on the verge of death, Homura and Koharu quickly spoke. Elder Mito, please, let him go. Yes, Danzo is acting in the village's best interests. Surely there's been a misunderstanding. Chapter 018. You are listening at novelfull.audio. For the good of the village. Or is this about your own selfish ambitions? In what way has Yi Feng acted against the village's best interests? Uzumaki Mito's questions left Mito Menyen and Koharu sputtering. Ma'am, there seems to be some kind of misunderstanding. Yes, Danzo said the same thing. We just wanted to ask Yi Feng some questions, but he resisted more strongly than we expected. Enough. Hiruzen Sarutobi grabbed his adamantine staff and swung it, connecting with Danzo. Blood sprayed, and teeth went flying. Like a discarded sack, Danzo sailed through the air and slammed into the ground. It wasn't clear if he was alive. Danzo really screwed up this time, so don't you two try to defend him. Konoha doesn't have any rules allowing root operatives to just grab people off the street, especially without following protocol. Sarutobi, looking at Uzumaki Mito with concern, said, Ma'am, I, as a student, have seriously failed in my duties. I promise you, Yi Feng, and everyone else that I'll get to the bottom of this. Mito Menyen and Koharu felt a sudden chill observing Sarutobi's surge in power. The old man was pissed, that strike had knocked out half of Danzo's teeth. Uzumaki Mito scoffed and dispelled the Nine-Tails chakra. Sarutobi's attack might have looked like it critically injured Danzo, but in reality, it might have just saved his life. Yi Feng watched, thinking to himself that the old lady's Nine-Tails form was something else. She was like a female version of Naruto. If Kushina ever learned to use the Nine-Tails form, while Uzumaki Mito ignored Sarutobi and looked at Yi Feng with affection. Yi Feng, what do you think? It would be great if the third Hokage could investigate thoroughly. Turning to Koharu, she glared at Yi Feng and said, well, Yi Feng, you need to let them go right now. They're Konoha's elite. Konoha's elite. Attacking Konoha's own citizens. Koharu's face darkened. This kid had no respect. If Uzumaki Mito wasn't here, she'd take him into custody today. Mito Menyen's expression changed, and he rushed over to the nearest masked ninja, dropping to his knees and checking his pulse. He's dead. Mito's reaction startled Koharu, and she quickly joined him. Dead? Mito Menyen nodded grimly, shot a look at Yi Feng, and moved on to the next masked ninja. Dead. Sarutobi was silent. He now saw that all 10 root members were dead, no survivors. Yi Feng was ruthless, he'd strangled all 10 root operatives. They had all been so focused on Danzo and the old lady that they overlooked Yi Feng. They're dead. Koharu and Mito Menyen were horrified. These 10 root members included elite shinobi from their own sleeping clan and Mito clan. Many were their nephews, with bright futures ahead of them. Some were even candidates to lead their clans. And they were just gone, Yi Feng said casually. Oh, didn't notice. Sorry about that. Yi Feng, this is outrageous. Killing people in Konoha. I was just acting in self-defense. They attacked and tried to kidnap me in broad daylight. What else could I do? Then, Yefeng sighed again and said, it was just an accident, a misunderstanding. Koharu and Mitomenyen's faces were twisted with fury. They had used the misunderstanding accident arguments earlier, and now Yefeng was throwing them right back in their faces. Yefeng, watch your mouth. Koharu, losing it, pointed at Yefeng. This is unbelievable. Killing so many elite jonin. Guards. Arrest him. Suddenly, thick roots burst from the ground and slammed Koharu into the air. She flew backward, spitting blood, arcing through the air before landing on top of Danzo. Ugh! Danzo yelped, then passed out again before he could fully wake up. How embarrassing. Is that really the kind of quality we should expect from our senior advisor? Yefeng's face remained neutral. He clearly didn't take Koharu seriously. Senior advisor? What was that even worth? You. Mitomenyen's first impulse was anger, but Yefeng's eyes made him pause. The kid didn't care about his position, he would strike without hesitation, and seemed to know no bounds. Utterly insolent, Mitomenyen looked at Sarutobi with a frown. Sarutobi gave a weary smile. He hadn't expected Yefeng to strike so quickly, leaving no time to react. Yefeng, you've gone too far. Uzumaki Mito scoffed. I'm sure it was self-defense. After all, he just awakened his Kekkei Genkai and was attacked. He just used too much force, and killed them by mistake, right? Doesn't that sound normal? She was deeply disappointed in Danzo, Koharu, and Mitomenyen. She was starting to wonder if the second Hokage had made a huge mistake entrusting Konoha's future to them. On the other hand, she rather liked Yefeng. This was how people should stick up for themselves. As for the 10 root members, it was nothing more than killing the chicken to scare the monkey. Chapter 019. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just then, footsteps approached. Fugaku Uchiha, followed by the Uchiha guard, hurried over. Their eyes widened when they saw Danzo and Koharu sprawled on the ground, barely recognizable. Is that Elder Danzo and Advisor Koharu? Who did this to them? Fugaku stared at Hiruzen, stunned. Lord Third, did you summon us? Hiruzen was speechless. Had Koharu been in a position of power for too long, causing her to lose her mind? Why would he call the Uchiha guard to witness this humiliating mess? It's all right, Fugaku. You and your men can go back to maintaining order in the village. Yes, Lord Third. Looking conflicted, Fugaku signaled the guards to turn back. Before leaving, Fugaku glanced at Yifeng, taking him in. Minato's blonde hair fluttered in the wind as he stood there, looking bewildered. Yifeng actually dared to attack a senior advisor. Those two were practically royalty in the village. And that mysterious Danzo elder had also been taken down by Lord Third. He'd never seen anything so insane. Kushina, equally nervous, gripped Yifeng's arm. Yifeng felt her arm tighten, noting the unexpected softness. Kushina was definitely developing nicely. Hiruzen. Hamura Mitokado turned to Hiruzen again, unwilling to give up. Regardless, Yifeng is shrouded in doubt. He just killed a lot of Konoha's elite shinobi. He needs to come with us for questioning. The council and the root division had already decided on this, but it wasn't made public. This was now a matter of pride. If Yifeng didn't submit to interrogation, they would become the laughingstock of Konoha. If they couldn't even arrest him, and they themselves got beaten up, what would people think of them? However, Yifeng wasn't about to let them save face. Let me be honest, advisor. These guys openly attacked me in Kushina, without showing any official documents. Are you really targeting people from our own village? Did you get paid off by the Cloud Village? Did you betray Konoha and become spies for them? Did I mess with your shady business with the Cloud Village, making you want to come after me like this? Yifeng's words caused a stir. Yifeng. You're talking nonsense. Kushina's Ninetails chakra flared again. The more I think about it, the more suspicious this seems. Hamura, I respect you both as senior advisors. As for me, I've been retired for a long time, I really don't care about Konoha's internal affairs, it's not my job to meddle. But if you're betraying Konoha, I'll have to choose duty over family. Sweat broke out on Hamura's face as he stared at the phantom of the Ninetales. Lady Mito, you're mistaken. Everything we do is for the good of the village. Mito Uzumaki ignored Hamura, turning to Hiruzen. Hiruzen, this really needs to be investigated. Lady Mito, I promise to get to the bottom of this, and there will be no favoritism. Mito Uzumaki nodded. Good. I still trust you. Turning to Yi Feng and Kushina, she said, Yi Feng, Kushina, let's go. Hiruzen nodded and shot Hamura a warning look, telling him to shut up. Another word, and Konoha's leadership would completely lose face. It was Danzo and the council's fault. They instigated the attack and then they tried to turn the blame on Yi Feng. Yi Feng took Kushina's hand and followed Mito Uzumaki. As they rounded the corner, Yi Feng suddenly stopped. Oh, by the way, Lord Third, there's someone from the Uchiha clan, and he's awakened the Sharingan. But I thought the Uchiha were all in the guard. How could he be in Danzo's root organization? Hiruzen's face fell. Yi Feng wasn't talking to him, he was talking to the Uchiha outside. This guy loved to stir up trouble. The one who had awakened the Sharingan was from the Uchiha, a genius to be sure, and joined the root. Why did Danzo absorb people from the Uchiha clan? What was he planning? Hiruzen examined the corpses on the ground and indeed found a corpse with Sharingan eyes. His expression turned grim. Hamura, standing next to him, was expressionless, secretly wishing Yi Feng was dead. That guy was a pain, he was causing so much trouble for them. As he was walking away, just you wait, don't let me find your weakness. Just as Hamura was plotting his revenge, he heard Hiruzen speak. Hamura, you and Kohara have worked tirelessly for Konoha these last few years. You've made countless contributions, and you deserve a rest. I'm giving you a month off. Get some rest, and delegate your tasks to the younger generation. And Danzo, don't play possum. This matter has too much fallout. Root is under investigation and will be disbanded at any time. Chapter 020. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the way home, Minato Namikaze apologized. Hey, sorry about that. I really didn't see that coming. Yi Feng grinned. Minato, you didn't set me up, did you? Minato's face flushed. He quickly waved his hands. No way. I just think if I hadn't called you out, none of this would have happened. Don't sweat it. This was bound to happen sooner or later. Besides, even if you hadn't called me, I would have come out anyway. Actually, it's a good thing. First, it gave me a good read on my current strength, put me in a certain tier. When the chips are down, I should be at least as strong as a Kage-level ninja, right? At worst, quasi-Kage. Plus, Yi Feng glanced at Kushina's hand now nestled comfortably in his. Look at this. My favor with Kushina has shot up like crazy. It's above 90 now, according to the system. Tons of possibilities here. Mito Uzumaki, walking ahead, was beaming. If she could get Yi Feng and Kushina together, she'd die a happy woman. Hey, Minato, wanna come over for lunch? Yi Feng asked. Nah, not today. Yi Feng, let's catch up later, okay? Minato teleported away before Yi Feng could protest. Being around Yi Feng and Kushina was too much. Minato had always had a crush on Kushina, but Yi Feng had made a lightning move and now he's holding hands with her. Minato's heart felt like it was being ripped out. Eat. No, thanks, ding, choices initiated. Option 1, ditch Kushina and take Minato out for Ichiraku Ramen. Reward, Ichiraku Ramen VIP recharge card *1. Option 2, let Minato handle it himself. Everyone has to grow up sometime. Reward, B-rank ninjutsu, water style, water encampment wall. Option 3, drag Minato to your house for lunch. Friendship is worth fighting for. Reward, S-rank sealing technique, Geen seal. Yin seal allows the user to accumulate chakra over time and then release a massive amount of chakra, to enable forbidden techniques and large-scale medical ninjutsu. Created by Mito Uzumaki, then refined by Tsunade and Sakura Haruno, this is a precursor to regeneration and strength of 100 sealings. For Yi Feng, Yin seal is a huge boon with the huge amount of chakra between the Senju clan. With the Yin seal, his chakra levels would be astronomical. Hey, Minato! Hold on, Yi Feng sprinted after Minato and grabbed him from behind. Huh, before Minato could react, Yi Feng said, come on, don't be shy. Come over for dinner. I don't know about that. What's wrong with it? We can always get a chiraku ramen later. Without waiting for a reply, Yi Feng dragged Minato toward the Uzumaki compound. An hour later, Yi Feng, Minato, Kushina, and Mito Uzumaki were sitting at the dining room table. Ding, congrats on forcibly inviting Minato over. Gained S-rank sealing technique, Yin seal. The knowledge of the Yin seal flooded into Yi Feng's mind. Using the Yin seal to store chakra creates a diamond-shaped mark on the forehead. Gotta go home and study this later. If he mastered the Yin seal and then learned regeneration and strength of 100 sealings, he would be one step closer to becoming the ultimate ninja. Minato, dig in. Yeah, Minato, help yourself. Mito thought Minato was a fine young man. He was so polite, waiting for everyone else to start before taking a bite. So, she quickly started serving him dishes. Eat. Kushina said, placing a piece of meat on Yi Feng's plate since he hadn't picked up any food yet. Minato's face fell. Nice to have a girlfriend. Minato thought, here I am, a ninjutsu prodigy, and emotionally I'm a complete rookie. His crush was on the opposite side, feeding food to Yi Feng, all lovey-dovey. Minato wanted to die. Why did I come here? Was I out of my mind? The meal was just beginning, and Yi Feng had already broken Minato's heart. Again, it hurts. Minato thought. I need a girlfriend. By afternoon, Minato had left, but not before agreeing to a spar with Yi Feng a week later. He had declared confidently that he was learning a powerful ninjutsu, and when he mastered it, he would surprise Yi Feng. Powerful ninjutsu, has to be the Flying Thunder God technique. Yi Feng felt like he was about to crush Minato all over again. Flying Thunder God. He snorted. I know that too,